Hello and welcome to another edition of Toys from the Attic. For today's episode, we're going to be taking a look at Transformers Titans Returns Kickback. Now, if you're like me, you're happy that this guy came out because it means we finally can complete our Insecticon collection or our Insecticon team. It's just one of those things that satisfies my OCD. Looking at this guy, I really like a lot of the detailing on him. It really harkens back to the original Generation 1 version of this character, which you can see right here. And seeing him side to side, you can see just how far we've actually come in being able to design toys, from this original blocky, very low articulation look to just all these ball joints and swivel joints and this nice paint detailing. It's just leaps and bounds, and you just see the evolution of like the process in designing these guys. That's not to say that this guy was a bad toy. It's just that this one's a little bit more modern. Now, speaking of his articulation, his head can actually move side to side and actually up and down, but that's actually part of his transformation, and it's nice to see that they're able to get a little bit of range in there with his head. His arm or his shoulders are on this nice ball joint, but because of the kibble right here for his wings and his extra little insect legs, you are limited on kind of how you can kind of pose him. It does get in the way a little bit. He has a nice ball joint right here for his elbows. And one more thing about his arms, it's a little weird just to see how thin his insect-like his arms are right here, and even in his robot mode. He has no waist articulation, but he has a good range of hip articulation. You can see they can move all the way out, forward and back, and he has another ball joint right here for his knees. And that's pretty much about it. So yeah, he's a pretty good figure that can be posed pretty well. I do wish that he came with some sort of weapon, but if memory serves me, the Insecticons never really had any weapons. They were always just known for eating things and eating other robots as well. It's kind of nice little cannibalistic. Alright, now to transform Kickback here, we're going to start off by moving his head all the way around like so, and then bringing his insect head up right here to form that cicada or grasshopper-like head. Next, we're going to bring his arms up like this, and then fold his arms around like so. I always have a little bit of a hard time with the arms right here, so bear with me if I kind of fumble with this a little bit. Then we're going to bring his arms down like so. Now, I want to make sure that these are facing down like this. There we go. Move that piece right there. Do the same thing right here. And then we're going to want to make sure that these two little pegs right here are fitting into this little slot right here. And there's a little peg right here. Just make sure all those pieces fit right in with each other to kind of form his little insect thorax. There we go. I think it's all sticking together. Next, we're going to bring his insect legs up like this. Then bring his wings out like so. Bend his knees back a little bit. Push his feet in to extend out the hind insect legs. There you go. And there he is. He's now in his robot grasshopper cicada mode. And yeah, he's ready to go attack Autobots and eat a bunch of metal and bring the Energon back from Megatron, because that's what the Insecticons do. Now, another cool thing about this guy, which is his little cockpit right here, because the original Generation 1 version of this guy had a little cockpit that opened up as well. I think that was mostly just for storing weapons, or it was related to the original line that these guys came from. If you remember, a lot of these original Transformers were part of different lines before they actually came over here to the States. Anyways, you can bring his little chest open like this, and this is actually where any little Titan Master can go and sit in here as a little cockpit and ride him around just to, I don't know really why they would want to be flying a giant grasshopper as opposed to a vehicle or a jet, but it's just a nice little added feature. All in all, he's a pretty cool Insecticon. I am a little worried, though, about the little transparent plastic on the wings, though, because as I've seen with other reviewers and other toys, the transparent plastic tends to break over time. So I'm probably going to keep this guy in either his insect mode or most likely his robot mode and display him with the rest of the Insecticons. He's a nice addition to the Insecticon team, in my opinion. Is if you can find him on the toy shelf still, I'd definitely say pick this guy up.
Once again, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed what you've seen today, please help me out by sharing, liking, or even subscribing. Comments and advice are also appreciated. Who knows, some you suggest may appear on the show in the future.